Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Shafaq Farooq and I, with my co-author Zahbea Zahra, wrote an article about female prisoners and the limitations to increasing their representation in law. So with regard to this article, we would like to highlight that despite the presence of national and international laws to protect female accused and convicts confined in Pakistani prisons, the female prisoners have been treated poorly in the country. And this is most likely because the implementation of the laws drafted to increase the legal representation of female convicts are not implemented in their true sense, nor reflect the purpose for which they were created. So here I think it's worth mentioning to highlight a few laws. For example, the Constitution of our country provides women with the right to due process of law, to be treated fairly without discrimination with regard to other genders, and to be treated fairly. But very sadly, it is to be said that these laws are not implemented to the fullest. So we will be talking about a few reasons why there is limited representation of female prisoners in Pakistan. But firstly, I would like to mention about a survey which we conducted in which practicing lawyers and female students gave their opinion about what they think are the major obstacles with regard to female prisoners' representation in law. So we were actually quite surprised to see the results. So basically 51.7% of the respondents, while having a legal background, were not actually familiar that the Pakistan Prison Rule and the Prisons Act states provision specially for females for the females with regard to their problems. And then we actually asked them about another question, that what do they think are the basic reasons why females do not opt for litigation. And 56.7% responded that basically male dominance is the reason why females do not opt for litigation, and other reasons were the structural defects and the socioeconomic factors. So considering these, I think it is crucial for the Pakistan prison rules to ensure that female representation in prisons needs to be taken in mind while the laws are being drafted. And this is the only way that the women depriving of their basic rights can be actually can get actual fair representation in law. And basically I would like to further highlight about the consequences resulting from the lack of female lawyers. So firstly, it leads to the violation of Equal Protection Clause, which is basically the Article 5 of the Constitution, and then it leads to the obstruction of right to fair trial, which is Article 10A, and it further leads to the curtailment of right to privacy, which is Article 18. And furthermore, my co-author Zahbea would like to elaborate.
So while Shafaq did cover most of it quite well, I would like to conclude and move towards how we can improve this system. And for this purpose, it would be better if we move towards a notion where we can actually introduce and implement new legal reforms. And this responsibility lies not only with general members, it lies with us as students, and from practicing lawyers to judges and to other associated government and law enforcement authorities. And for this purpose, we can extend these reforms from eliminating gender discrimination itself, from introducing special efforts to fix structural defects, from countering cultural impediments, and from actually preventing socioeconomic factors, from preventing women prisoners from accessing their right to representation in law. So in conclusion, the paper primarily aimed to evaluate the prospect of how and why the representation of female prisoners in law is limited. So, and how this limitation can actually be increased and improved. So while we of course are already identifying and resolving such disputes, we still have a long way to go. And with our independent and collective contributions, we can only hope to do our part and improve the system as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shafaq and Zahra.